guys. So Kraven the Hunter is now available on digital. It is going to be available to take home on physical media soon. But I finally watched this movie. So I've finally seen Kraven the Hunter, and well, yes, it's as bad as you heard it was. If you haven't yet seen Kraven the Hunter, there really is no need to see Kraven the Hunter. Now, I need to preface this by saying that, as you guys know, if you've been around my channel for a while, you know how much I love Marvel, and not just Marvel movies, but Marvel comics. I've been reading Marvel comic books since I was 8 years old. Kraven the Hunter was never someone that was like my favorite, top of the list. I don't even think he was in my top 10, but I found him to be interesting and intriguing. And I was hoping for something from this movie. I love Aaron Taylor Johnson as well, so I was excited to see him take on this role, especially after New York Comic Con. They showed us some really incredible action sequences, and I was like, okay, if we are fully leaning into this R rating, I am here for it. I love, again, if you've been around my channel for a while, you know this, I love a bloody, gory action sequence. That is exactly what Kraven the Hunter gives us. That is what it gave us at New York Comic Con, and I was like, I am in. I'm actually very cautiously optimistic about this, excited. And then I heard that it wasn't great, and I was like, I'm going in with an open mind. I don't care. I love Aaron Taylor Johnson, and I just want some nasty kills. Well, I did get some nasty kills, and that is about the best thing about this movie. It's one of the only good things about this movie. I just had so many problems with it, unfortunately. First of all, there's so many conveniences. And I know that sometimes you need conveniences in a movie to keep things moving along, right? Like, for example, Kraven calls Calypso and is like, oh, these people might be showing up. And she's like, oh my gosh, they're right in front of me. There's 5 guys who look like they don't belong here. This is perfect. Literally, she uses those words. These guys don't look like they belong here. When they do, by the way, they're dressed in suits, walking around an office where everybody's in suits. She's a lawyer. It's not like they came in dressed like hunters or poachers or any of that stuff. They literally came in suits. So I was like, what is happening here? But lots of conveniences, right? Like, it's kind of spoilery, but not really. Like, Kraven's brother Dimitri gets abducted, and of course, Kraven literally walks right back to the apartment to see that happen. Literally, that's right when he gets back, and it's like, I get the point, but like there's so many conveniences. Even right from the beginning when Calypso's like, oh, I found these tarot cards. I'm going to play with these tarot cards. And her grandmother's like, no, let's not play with them. Let's do it. Oh my gosh, it's telling me that you're going to need this thing. I wasn't going to give this to you for years, but guess what? I have it on me right now, and you're going to need it very soon. So I'm just going to give it to you now. But it's also the dialogue these people use. Like, this is not how humans speak. Like, I hate to say things feel AI written because I feel like that takes away from writers. And I hate to say it. But this dialogue is bad. This dialogue is not good. And then speaking of the dialogue, you have the ADR, where people go in and record over if they're going to change lines. But it's so bad in this. Like, or if you can't hear anything, they change it. I think it's very clear they just completely changed lines because it doesn't match up with the mouths. Like, a lot. Especially when it comes to Rhino, who looks horrible, by the way. That design is a choice. I don't know what that thought process was. I don't know. There was so much about this movie. I will say Fred Hechinger, who plays Chameleon, I love him. I think he's been in so many incredible films in 2024. He's fantastic in Gladiator 2. He's fantastic in Thelma. He's so good in Thelma. He has a small role in Nickel Boys, which he's great in. Like, he's just so good, and he has proven himself time and time again. So I was very excited to see him as Chameleon. And, it's basically like we're setting up for something that could happen in the future. And I'm telling you, the ending of this movie 100% was an end credit scene. And then they decided they weren't going to do an end credit because it teases a future. I can see why Sony came out and said, hey, we're not going to do these for a while after this one. Because it's bad, and I'm so upset that it's bad. The best thing about it is the kills and those action sequences, but that even kind of gets boring because of everything surrounding it is so boring, which I hate to say. It really just took me out of the movie quite early on. I was like, what are we doing? I mean, there's lines that are laughable and like not in a good way. Like you're sitting there just laughing at it because you're like, I can't believe they literally just had someone say those words. Like it's not good, you guys. It's just not good, and it makes me very, very sad to say, because like I said, I was very cautiously optimistic for it. I was like in it for the R-rated ness of it, and while it does give us that, it almost doesn't give us enough of it. and it's too sporadic. I don't know. It's just not great. The story itself is so boring. And I mean, we've seen this stuff with like crime bosses before, and like, so the Penguin does it extremely well. And this movie's just blah. Like, it's very boring. I told myself I was not going to be on my phone at all. I was going to be completely immersed. And I was sitting there counting the moments till I could pull my phone out. Now, I did watch this at home, but I'm just saying I was counting the moments till I could pull my phone out because I was like, this is not great. I totally forgot that Christopher Abbott was even in this movie. He's this obscure character that I had never really heard of. And like I said, I read Marvel Comics. I had to look him up after. The Foreigner. Very cool, like, powers and stuff. Wish we could have seen more of him. He was just weirdly thrown in there. And I feel bad for Ariana DeBose because she's so talented. And her Calypso, it just felt like they took so much of her character out of this. Like, there was almost no point for her to be in this. Especially Ariana DeBose, like the younger Calypso at the beginning. Yes, it makes sense for her to be in it, of course. But it just didn't. I just felt like they must have ripped so much away from what they gave her character because there's really no need for her to be in this, which is unfortunate because, like I said, she's a very talented actress. And I just feel like everyone did what they could with what they were given and just hoped for the best. And the outcome was horrific. So that's my thoughts. If you haven't yet seen Kraven the Hunter, it's available on digital to watch at home. Feel free to if you want to. I don't know. I can't even recommend checking it out. It's just, you just don't have to. We know the Sonyverse Marvel whatchamacallit is ending. Just push it aside and pretend it never happened. I don't know what to tell you guys. You let me know if you've seen Kraven the Hunter down below in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think I'm completely off base? Tell me what you loved about this movie. Tell me what you hated about this movie. Let's get into it in the comments. Be sure to give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on more videos like this one. Follow me over on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and you guys can check me out at mamasgeeky.com. Thanks. I'll see you next time.